Hi, sports fans, and welcome to the Ultimate Football Show. I'm your UFL Commissioner Sway, and joining me tonight are a great group of veterans. I got my co-commissioners here, Slush and Frank, as well as one of UFL's most tenured owners, Dolphins owner INAG. Guys, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Guys,
no problem.
Yeah, glad to have you, INAG. And Frank, you're here too, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Guys, we're just talking about the UFL. I'm going to go over, it's been a while since we've done a podcast. Can't believe this is the first podcast we've done this Madden, but here we are. We finally got some time, and we're going to go over what's going on in the UFL. So, going to start it off. We got a lot of stuff going on in the league right now. Slushy is going to talk to us. We have quite a few new owners in the league. So, Slushy, if you just want to take a moment or two, talk about the new owners in the league. I believe 10 new owners right now. So you've done a lot talking with the owners and getting them involved. Why don't you just give us a little bit of your thoughts on the new guys that are in the league?
Yeah, thanks, man. I've been dealing with the new owners recently. Things are going pretty well. Everyone seems pretty excited about the UFL, which is great. The enthusiasm's up, participation's up. It could be better, but I think it's getting to the point, and everyone's understanding how we do things here. I just want to give a shout out to all the new owners that we have. I'm just gonna go down a list I wrote down here. We have Jason, Cowboy Mike 70, King Brandon, Shy's Rookie QB, Young Stay High, Heartless, Jimmy, Stokes, TDC, TK, Scotia, Doc Watcher, Spud, and then just recently tonight, A-Rod. Thanks for joining the UFL. We really like to have you here. I hope you really, really enjoy your stay. As you can tell, we're a content-driven league. We don't just allow new owners to come in, and also the vets. We just don't allow someone just to schedule their games and play it, because that's not how we do things around here. Communication is key. If you have any issues or gripes, we're pretty much all available. Any vet is pretty much available too if you have any questions or concerns. Our expectations are, pretty high, but we're all understanding, life comes first and everything is just a game, but still this is what we like to do, and we like to keep it all fair and on the same table, and, to keep things going, we like to have content, so please pump it out.
All right, nice job, Slushy. Yeah, it's great to have all the new owners. Seen a lot of great things from these guys, a lot of enthusiasm, like Slushy said, and it's good to see you guys participating, getting involved. Really, really nice job. A couple owners in particular, Scotia and Chai Rookie QB have done a great job, and with the content participation and keeping things positive, and that's really what it's all about, is just keeping things fun, not getting too serious about it, and having fun with the game and having fun with the league. And we've always tried to go above and beyond to bring you guys a great league that you can get immersed in and feel something special when you're in this league. We hold a lot of pride with how long we've been around, and there's a reason we've been around so long is because we got great owners and great upper management, with myself and the help of Slush and Frank keeping things running. And I think we've had pretty good communication with the owners, the new owners. If they have any questions, concerns at all, I think we've been pretty available to answer their questions. So good stuff there. Now, we also, a couple new things we've introduced in the league. We have XP points, and Frank, I'll ask you if you could just touch on those. And we're doing some double XP points. Can you just explain what the points are, what the double XP points are that we're doing as kind of a promotion, and what the points are used for?
Yeah, I'll go through what the points are used for. I'll talk about the promotion going on right now. Just in case anyone wasn't aware of what points did in the UFL, they're used for the team draft. The team draft is done at the beginning of every UFL, and it is, in essence, it's like a fantasy draft for the team you're going to be using all UFL. The person with the most amount of points is going to end up picking their team first, and the person with the least amount of points will end up picking last. So if you have a team that you really want, it's best for you to get as many points as possible. Now, how you get these points are there's basically 3 different ways you could earn the points. The biggest way to get points is by creating a new thread. Creating a new thread gets you 20 points. During this promotion we got going on, it turns out to be 40 points. A good example of a quality new thread would be Scotia's Boobs of the Week article. That's really good every week. Everyone looks forward to seeing it. The next way to earn points is replying to someone else's content. Normally you get 1 point per reply. With this Christmas promotion, you get 2. This is the easiest way to earn points, but do not abuse it. We don't want basically see a bunch of one-word replies all over the place. Put some thought into every reply. The last way to earn points is by earning a thumbs up on your one of your posts or one of your created contents. You earn thumbs up when other users like what you're posting. So when you put something with some thought and effort into your post, you might get a few thumbs up, earning you points, which is another reason why to not just post one-word response. Thumbs up usually earn you 3 points, but during this promotion you'll be able to get 6. So that's basically the nuts and bolts of the point system and the Christmas promotion we got going on. The promotion ends right after Christmas, and then we'll be going back to our regular point scale, which is 20 points for creating a thread, 1 point for replying, and 3 points for every thumbs up. So take advantage of this opportunity and start posting some original content, and you'll be earning them in no time.
Absolutely, and I just want to add to that. It really goes well for your point schedule, and this is something brand new to us. So if you have any other ideas of how we could incorporate other avenues to make sure that everyone is getting a fair amount of opportunities to post, hey, just share them with us. We're open to new ideas, new avenues. We're not, we don't know everything, and we're a league of 32 minds. So let's put these minds together and make some things happen.
Yeah, good stuff, guys. And again, the points, it's a little bit different than the systems we've done the past 4 years, where pretty much your tenure in the UFL gave you however long you've been in the league would give you the higher pick. We've gone more to an activity-based reward program where the owners that participate and are active will get the first picks. And I think you could see guys like Scotia and Chai who come in to the league. They're new guys to the league, and they're already in the top 10 for team selection next year. And some owners don't really care, but some owners do. And we've pretty much had the same 10 owners picking in the top 10 for the last 3-4 seasons, so 3-4 years. So it's going to be different, a little bit different next year when there's some new guys picking. And it's going to be different for the teams. It's going to be different for just how we operate. And I think it's a good system. It really came about at the perfect time. We were talking about it, and then Engine came out with a program that kind of helped us that we could use. And again, you got to visit the forums. If you don't visit the forums at least once every 3 days, which is not very demanding, you do lose points, as well as not posting on the forums, which again is not very demanding. When there's a scheduling thread every week, there's a around the league thread every week, there's content being posted that you can comment on. So there's really no reason for you not to visit the forums or the website, as well as make a post every 3 days, just to keep, or every 5 days, just to keep yourself, just to show us and the fellow owners that you're active. Again, Frank and Slush touched on the thumbing up. Make sure, please, that when somebody's taking time, hours out of their schedule to post content to make the league better, to entertain its readers, make sure you're not just saying nice job, nice work, but you're also giving that owner a thumbs up, because really they do it for the love of it. But again, it helps when you reward that owner. So it makes it worthwhile that they're gonna, and then they want to do more stuff. So again, take advantage of the double points. I think it's a good promotion. A lot of people are going through finals and stuff right now, but they're going to have that lull during Christmas. It's a great time to pump out some content and get yourself back up in the race for so you're not picking 25th overall. So good stuff there. Also, guys, we have a new warning system. I try to touch on the good stuff, but there's also other stuff we have to touch on. So that we do have a warning system now. Obviously, there have been instances where owners might have felt fairly untreated or whatnot, and basically, and I've touched on this on the forums. You can look at the thread, but basically, what it is, it's a warning system. Right now, if you miss your game without communication, you get a warning point, and those warning points add up to eventual, league expulsion should you acquire, an exorbitant amount of points. We don't have a total set in stone, but again, if you're not scheduling your games and you're acquiring these points, you're going to notice that something's not right. So that's something that's really in the beta stage. I didn't put on their beta because it's something we're testing out, we're working with, and we think it'd be good just to identify. We have it where when you go on, if you do get a warning when you go on the site, you have to acknowledge that warning before you can participate on the site. So I think it'll work. And then lastly, we do have the pleasure of. We are now hosted with Daddy League, and what Daddy League is, it's pretty much like XFN, if you guys remember XFN, basically stat tracking. They have contracts and stuff on there, in attributes and stuff like that. Great for trade blocks, great for scouting other players and whatnot, but it's a great tool for us, especially when and for owners doing content. You can look at the player stats, the team stats, all kinds of the scheduling, the all kinds of information on there. So utilize that, guys. The link's at the top of our forum page. It's under League Stats. Go on there. Make sure you're registered on there as well. We only have about 10 or 12 guys registered on there. So please go on there, register on there. I'll approve you for your team, and then you can look at your specific with contracts and stuff like that. So it's a great tool. And thank you for Frank for your donation on getting us there. It wasn't cheap. It was about $33.
Yeah, thanks, Frank. Appreciate that.
No problem, guys.
So thanks for doing that and getting that rolling. Because again, we wanna be at the top with content, with activity. We want to be on the cutting edge of having these tools available for you guys, and I think that's one more thing to help do that. So, guys, all right. So. Now let's talk about football right now. So we're currently in week 15. Games are getting played pretty good this week. So nice.
I think so too. Yeah.
Nice job there, guys, getting your games in. It seems like the scheduling thread itself too is a lot more active in the last week or so than it has been with games getting scheduled. So nice job there. Please make sure when we advance, you guys are communicating to set up your next game. If there is an issue, contact a commissioner so we can determine a solution, whether it's a sub, whether it's somebody goes on auto, whatever it is, so we can determine the solution. But INAG, I haven't talked to you yet, but why don't you touch on anything that you've noticed in the league so far this season and season 2? Any big surprises, disappointments, anything? What are your thoughts on this season so far?
This season's been going pretty well for us as a league-wide, but, the biggest thing I see is, just getting us those 32 solid owners. That's what we need to get back to. We had that a while back, but, hopefully with these new guys, this new influx of talent, we'll get back to that. As far as major disappointments, hell, my Dolphins suck, so that's my biggest disappointment.
Come on,
is that a
disappointment?
For me, it is. I don't know about you guys. You probably expected it, but it's for me. But as far as league-wise, I'm kind of surprised Plex is down a little bit this year. It's 9-5. I'm sure he doesn't want to be 9-5. Yeah, I might attribute this to what I call the PS4ism, where you're playing two different Maddens, and it is causing some flux in your game at the PS3 versus the PS4 version. But I guess that would probably be my biggest surprise. It's probably, biggest disappointment. Probably surprise-wise, I don't know. It's a lot of surprises this year. It's a lot of big teams out there. The Bears 12-1, the Bengals 12-2.
Yeah.
Wright's not really a surprise because they're 11-2. Hell, we see that every year. The Panthers at 11-3.
I know you and I.
a lot of big surprises out there.
We see that firsthand, I know.
Yearly, straight yearly.
No.
Yep. I think one of my biggest surprises is when Wright lost to, I think it was Jason. Was it Jason?
Yeah.
Who beat him?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but he lost to a new guy, and seems like he's a pretty solid owner, and he can play some football.
No, definitely. I totally agree with that. And he's been one of the quick risers in the league, winners of his last 4 games, and definitely put himself on the map with that win over the Jets, Wright's Jets, because we all know how tough Wright is. I mean, he's got the UFL Bulls to prove it. So, no, good thoughts. INAG, great assessment on the Jaguars. I definitely agree with you there. I mean, he's going to get into the playoffs just because of the weak South, and I think he can win some games. But again, I think you're absolutely right with the PS4 coming out. I think he's a little things work on the next version that don't necessarily work on the PS3 version, and vice versa. So I think he's dealing with that a little bit. But I think he'll.
Yeah, one of my biggest concerns when he said he was getting Madden was that, and I told him I wasn't getting Madden for that specific reason. I didn't want to play 2 different versions and have something work on one and not work on the other, just like this way.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's definitely hurting him. You could tell that right in the win column. I mean, look at him last season to this season, what he did with those Jaguars. He was just untouchable last year, and then he's kind of struggling a little bit, not as focused as he has been. Like I said, he will get in the playoffs, and who knows from there. I mean, he beat some tough guys in the playoffs last year, so who knows? But yeah, nice assessment /2 on the on Jason. He's done an outstanding job since he's been here. Had a rough game last week against the Chiefs, and their stellar defense, but he was able to pull it out, and that's what it's all about is pulling out the W's.
Absolutely. Pulling out those W's is crucial. It doesn't matter how you get them as long as you do. And I also have to give props to Shy for beating Money Mad, I think, this past week. And I was actually really surprised, and give it up to him because he and I played, and he is a pretty solid player, Shy is. And and for me to beat him and for him to beat Money, I think that, explains a lot about his perseverance and his how he overcomes adversity, and he knows what he's going against, and how he pulls out those W's for his team. I think that's great.
No, that's a good assessment too, Slush. I played Shy myself and was able to pull it out, but it was a very close game down to the wire. And I give Shy a lot of credit too, because you could tell when you talk to him on the blast, he's very involved in his team. I love the enthusiasm with his team. He's got a plan for his team. He's developing his players. He's got a quarterback battle going on right now, a little carousel going on, and it's nice to see him get excited about it. I think he's done, like I said, one of the best jobs that I've seen. Definitely an Owner of the Year candidate for sure. So nice job there.
Nice job. Good job, guys.
So, Frank, why don't I talk to you? What are your thoughts so far this year and your biggest surprise, disappointment?
Well, when I figured out my biggest surprise and biggest disappointment, I went with player-wise. My biggest surprise this year, I think, is Aaron Murray. When he was drafted by the Bengals, when they already had Andy Dalton, I don't think anyone was for sure that Aaron Murray was going to be a starter, and now he is, probably the leader for MVP of the year.
Yeah, I agree, man. That's a good
yeah,
point.
he's been just outstanding, and when he drafted him, we were thinking, well, he's already got a quarterback. What's he going to do with him? And then my biggest disappointment is Drew Brees with the Saints. I think it's just time for him to retire, hang up the cleats. He's got 34 interceptions to 10 touchdown ratio, and it's I think it's just time for him to go and them to go younger and draft someone this year. I'm also going to do the Buffalo Bills as biggest disappointment. They started off the season 0-8, and then just went.
You said you wouldn't do it.
They started off 0-8. They had that first pick draft pick available, and then they won 5 out of their last 6. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's bad GMing right there.
yeah.
Yeah, no kidding,
just-
man. Hey, but you turn it around, dude. That's what it's all
can't
about.
blame you, but for winning. But hey, now you're looking at 15, 16, in the draft there. But that's my thought on biggest surprises. Aaron Murray, and biggest disappointment is Drew Brees and the Bills.
It just feels so good to win. No, very good assessment. Obviously, almost beat right in the playoffs last year, and damn, I feel like I say that every season.
Right? 3 times the charm, huh?
Yeah, good stuff. Slushy, did I get your surprises?
I kind of chimed in on Frank and INAGs, but I would have to agree about those two. The biggest surprise would be Aaron Murray. I had that written down in my notes here. I was really surprised. I was eyeballing him in the draft since I was quarterback need, but then I signed Josh Freeman. I'm starting to come around with him, not to talk about myself, but I'm starting to come around with Freeman pretty well here. And within the last few games, even though I have about 17 touchdowns and about 22 interceptions, I'm really working on those interceptions. In this last game against DDT, Freeman, he didn't put up career day numbers, but he was very efficient. He hit his receivers. I was very smart. As a player, I'm very patient now. I'm actually learning how to become more patient. I'm running the ball a little bit better, actually a lot better. And so I guess that would be my biggest surprise, is that how well I'm doing, because I'm almost 500, and I think that's a pretty good accomplishment because I haven't done that very well. What else? My biggest disappointment would also have to be the Bills.
He's a career 500 owner.
Hey, that's good for me. But my biggest disappointment would have to be the Bills too, because they were a playoff team consistently, and then this year they just kind of fell apart like a wet napkin, and I don't know what happened. But now they're coming around, and I think he's figuring, Sway, you're figuring out your team a little bit better and knowing who's good and who does what. Like Jarius Byrd is, consistently catching interceptions and doing his thing in the backfield there, or in the secondary. So yeah, that those are my thoughts. That's all I got to say about that.
I thought this was a pod, not a roast. So anyway, yeah, no, good stuff, guys. Great stuff. Definitely agree with everything said. Aaron Murray, for sure, he's putting up ridiculous numbers. And again, hats off to PR. I know he's been putting a lot of work into Murray all the time, talking about how he's bumping his stats up here. He's putting up his accuracy, and he said he's just on fire with him right now, and that's what it is. And really, too, that you look at the sliders and what we've done with the slider. I think our sliders are right on where they need to be. A lot of people who are not used to the passing slider the way it is seem a little hesitant with it. But once you work with it and you know what your quarterback can and cannot do, then you kind of understand it a little bit more, and you know that you need to work on your quarterback. So I really enjoy it. I think it helps people put a little more investment in developing their players, because they know they're not going to get Peyton Manning type passing with a guy like EJ Manuel. You can't do it. You got to put the work into the quarterback. So it's nice. I had for my biggest surprise, and this is one of our newer owners, was the Baltimore Ravens, 10-3, second best run D in the league, 88 yards a game. Tough division.
Oh, yeah.
He's got 2 losses, came against the Bengals. He played them tight the first time, got crushed the second time, but done a nice job. He's in the playoff hunt. He's going to get into the playoffs, and it's he's played a little bit softer of a schedule if you look at it, but again, he's won the games he's supposed to win, and now he's in the playoff hunt. That's all that really matters at the end of the day, is getting into those playoffs and trying to win those games one game at a time. So my biggest disappointment was the 4-9 49ers. They have the 28th ranked offense, which is just, I know Kaepernick was on the boobs of the week the other day. He had a .7 7 QB rating, something like that, was just god awful. I don't know how, with so much talent on that team, that they could be 4-9 in a winnable division like that. They do have the 11th ranked defense, which again, the players are just incredible, and it's just, again, it's disappointing to see that the struggles on the offense, and again, this team has so much talent to be, a cellar dweller in the NFC West. So that was my big disappointment. So
yeah, the NFC West is so wide open. It seems like yearly. Cards, he plays well, but sometimes he just only scrapes by on the 500 level. Frank too, he's a pretty solid player, and he's actually won the division just recently. I think this last game against the Eagles, he with this content that he posted, he clinched the division. But yeah, the division is wide open. Everyone is really evenly matched with each other, so it's very interesting to see how that plays out every season.
Yeah, definitely Slush on the NFC West there. And again, my no surprise assessment goes to Raiders halfback Darren McFadden. Just surpassed 2,000 yards again, second season in a row. So Money's doing a nice job there. And I guess you have to run the ball when Brandon Whedon's your quarterback. So. Right. Yeah, and I'll talk more about the Raiders once we get to our top 5. But guys, who are your heading into the playoffs now? Playoffs.
Yep.
Who, Slush? I'll start with you. Who are your favorites in the AFC NFC?
I gotta see here because I did my top 5, not the playoffs. So
I know I'm throwing right a curveball at you.
Yeah, you threw a real fast one too. But right at the top of my head, like we mentioned before, step your games up, Ravens. I think they're a sneaky good team, and I think they could do some damage in the playoffs in the AFC. The NFC, I do have to go with Bears, even though he's my division rival. I have to give it to Frank. He is making some good things happen in Chicago.
Even after that he's throwing the ball.
Yep, absolutely. Hey, you can't win them all, but he can win games, and I think that. If it's going to come down to it, it's either going to be the Bears and the Bengals or the Bears and the Ravens in the UFL Bowl 19.
Very good, Slush. Very good. Frank, why don't you touch on your favorites in the playoff race here? And come on, this shouldn't be a surprise. It's practically the same guys anyway, as usual.
Right?
Well, I think in the AFC, I think we all like the Bengals. But then you got quite a few other ones that could compete up there. I mean, the Raiders are probably got one of the best run games in the game. Then you got the Jets that are always in the hunt with it. If I had to pick one of those teams, I'm going with Bengals. I weigh the passing game a little bit better than run game. And in the NFC, I do like I gotta have confidence in myself, but I also think the Cowboys
Sure.
Are a little under the radar with 9-4 record. But if you look at their stats, they are in the top 10 in every category on offense. I mean, passing yards, he's at 12th, but he could run the ball, he could pass the ball. He's one of the best defenses in the game, giving up the least amount of yards per game in the whole UFL. I think he might be an under the radar kind of guy because his record isn't as good as all the the people at the top at 9-4. But he's got that division, and I think he might be a surprise. And then I also got Biz and his Carolina Panthers up there. They have won, I believe, 10 games in a row now.
Yeah, I think you're right. 10 games in a row. That's an amazing stat.
David Best, who was on my team last year, is a nice spark for them at running back position. He's getting most of the carries, which is kind of surprising how small he is, but he is very effective for them, averaging 5.4 a game.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
If I would have to pick anyone from the NFC, I would do Cowboys or Bears, and then AFC, Bengals and Raiders. And and I would pick myself in PR for the bowl.
Nice, good stuff. Good stuff. INAG, what are your thoughts on the playoff race? You pulling for your bro?
Okay, I'm not going to go that. We're going to start with the NFC first.
All right, INAG, hey, make sure there's Vikings in there, okay?
We're talking about the playoffs.
That was I agree with most. The Bears looks like going to be the team to beat in the NFC. Although I do like the Panthers. I think that'll be a nice matchup. Looking how it goes right now, they'll probably be seeded 1 and 2. So they wouldn't meet each other to the divisional round. So I think that'll be an epic divisional round. On the AFC side, got to go with my AFC East mate in right. He's right up there. And you got a couple of other teams that are right there that are close. But as in anything that we do, we all know to beat a champ, you have to beat the champ. So I am pulling for my
Ric Flair style.
Get that win and get back to the ship.
Oh yeah, good stuff, INAG. Good stuff. Yeah, definitely don't sleep on the Jags. I mean, when you go into the playoffs, these guys put it together, and you're gonna see Plex is gonna get on his game. I definitely, looking at the AFC, definitely got to pull for the Broncos as a sleeper team. He was on the way outside looking in, and now it looks like he's probably going to hit that 6th seed. I did get a little discouraged with the game this week against the Chiefs. Very sloppy game. Obviously, the right game got the radar on him, but very sloppy game this week. So he's got to be consistent if he's going to go all the way. But I think if you guys remember a few seasons back, we had Darn Good in here, and he ran the gauntlet on everybody.
Oh, I know. Like what was it like?
Pretty much like the Hall of Fame of UFO owners just ran the table.
Right?
And who knows? I mean, man, lightning could strike twice. You never know. So
that's the truth.
So could be the Broncos. Bengals, I think, are one of the hottest teams in the league right now, so it's hard to fault him. He's doing a very good job with Aaron Murray and co. And, again, you always got to go look at the Jets. He is so clutch when you play him, and I've played him many times in the playoffs. And he will will you to lose, and he's like the snake that wraps around you and then starts strangling you, and by the end of the game, he's scored one more point than you have. So,
it just pisses you off too.
Looking in the NFC, you guys touched on the Cowboys 9-4. If you look at his 4 losses, 1 to the Jets. Okay, 1 to the Spider-owned Buccaneers, Seahawks, and the 4th one escapes me. But again, it was another solid team. The Bears, Frank's Bears, yes. So 4 tough losses there. So you really can't fault him for that. But it does make you wonder if he's going to be able to pull it out this year. After going so far last season. Again, playoffs are different. It's a different platform. I think he's got enough in the tank, enough on the field there to get it done. And we've seen what a nice job he did last year to get to the playoffs or to the UFL Bowl. So definitely pulling for the Cowboys. I think they're going to be a sleeper team. The Bucks, it's hard to say what they're going to do. Just because there's some new ownership there. He's had a little bit softer schedule. Impressive win against the Bears today, but again, the Bears, I think you gotta look at them. Their record shows it. I mean, regardless of who they've played, they've been able to put together some impressive stats and have been consistent. Hopefully they finish the year strong without any injuries, and they can continue. I know Frank's had a little bit of trouble once he gets into the playoffs. I think he overthinks it a little bit, but we're obviously pulling for him, and hopefully he can pull it out. So,
absolutely. And just to touch on more about the Bears too, I really think that he can do it. I mean, when I play him, I play him twice a year. My second round with him is going to come up week 17, and but he's sharp with his passing. We know when Cutler's going to be on his game, he is on his game. The routes that his receivers run, they run him to a T. They catch the ball, they run the ball, and he scores points. And then you would be a fool not to think about the Bears in the playoffs.
Yeah, they could definitely score points. I mean, if you look, they're third in the league in points scored, so with 30 plus. So does a nice job putting points on the board. So, guys, why don't we hop into our last segment here, our top 5 roundtable discussion here. I asked you guys if you should get your top 5 teams together and why you ranked them as such. So we'll go around the room. And INAG, do you want to start?
Sure.
Bust it out, Anik.
Pass.
Yeah,
You
go
got the
next.
talking
I was
stick.
doing something at the same
INAG
time.
was in a sub. Slusha, go.
Oh, me? Okay. Well, this isn't in any particular order.
Really?
But since we're talking, yes.
I said 1 through 5.
All right.
Go
fuck
5 to
me.
go
All right,
5 to
let's do
1.
it.
Go 5 to 1.
Okay, well, I just wrote some teams down and then I numbered them. But
Okay.
I'll start from 5.
Okay.
Damn it. Okay, so I put Bengals at number 5. The reason why
Really?
I put them there is well, that's what I've said. I told you that it was just more of a
I'm just
a
kidding.
thing I
I'm
wrote
just
down.
kidding. Go ahead.
God damn it, Sway. Anyways, so my number 5 is the Bengals, just because PR is really good. You know, Aaron Murray shows it. He can pass the ball. He can run with Bernard. And I think he just upped his speed stat with like 30K that he's been saving up over the past season.
Ballin'.
Ballin's for damn sure. My next one is Wright and his Jets. I don't know. Just for the new owner's sake, Wright is elite. I mean, as elite as they come. He can win games, and like Sway said, he just squeezes out those points of you, and he'll beat you by 1. Third is Oakland with Money Matt. He's a proven player, again, just like Wright. He can score points, and he's going to win some games, and as you know, his championships rings say so. Second is the Seahawks with Frank too. We can't forget those guys. He just won his division. He has a solid defense. I really like his defense. I'm a defensive kind of guy, so I admire a solid D, and his pass D is good. I think he's going to do some damage, and I think maybe even come down to the NFC Championship with the Bears, who is number 1 in my list. I'm really pulling for the Bears, even though he's my division rival. I don't like to see him win. Hey, how you doing, Bob? But I think the Bears can do it. The thing that I think is going to separate him from the competition is his passing game. With the routes that they run, I don't know how to stop him myself, and I don't know how anybody else is going to stop him. He loves to pass, and it's going to show in the playoffs. And then also Frank's defense is solid. I can't run against him. In the past, I've ran against him. I remember a 330-plus game once, but he's tightened his defense up with his run games. He's hitting those holes where the running back goes into, and he's only getting, under 100 yards now, Adrian Peterson, if I run against Frank. So I think he's going to take it this year. I do. So there's my top 5.
Good stuff, Slush. Good stuff. Frank, you got your top 5?
Yeah, I'm ready. Unlike everyone else. Number 5, I got Cowboys. Record isn't the greatest, but they've only lost to elite teams, and they probably have the best stats.
No, they lost to the Bears too.
What number was I, Slusha?
Number 1?
I kid.
Yeah, he's only lost to elite teams, and his stats are probably the best in the UFL overall wise. He's only number 1 in, I think, yards allowed on defense, but I think he's top 10, top 5 in most stats that means something. Very good defense, very good offense, very balanced attack. He could run, he could pass. Unlike some of the other teams that are highly Raiders. I mean, they're on my top 5 list. Jets, they're primarily running teams. Cowboys can run the ball and pass the ball. Number 4, I got the Jets. Right in his history in the UFL, you can never put him onto the top of the list. I'm just afraid that he is kind of one-sided with the run ball. If you could stop his run game, which is definitely not easy, I'm afraid that maybe he won't be able to pass it. But his defense is elite, only allowing 14 points a game, and his offense, pass yards is near the bottom. But like I said, he could run the ball, and he knows how to win games. That's needless to say. Everyone knows that. Number 3, I put myself. Although I've slipped up the last couple games against teams that are going to make the playoffs with the Raiders and the Bucks. I think I could be at the top of the game in the playoffs as long as I, like Sway said, don't overthink it and try to keep a more balanced attack so I don't have to.
Yeah, man, and you can do it. You can do it, dude.
As long as I have a balanced attack and them respect the run too, I can't just pass the ball every time. I think I got a shot. So I put myself at 3. Number 2, I put the Raiders. They really dominated me when I played. I was undefeated at the time. Another team like Wright that's a run-first offense and not much on the passing. Like you said, Whedon's the quarterback. Maybe he even did. I don't know. Did he break this single-season rushing record? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did. But at least at this point in time, he did.
He's a very good runner. He plays defense really good. I mean, his numbers aren't the greatest allowing yards and passing yards and yards allowed in the game, but he only allows 16 points a game. That's his average. Good run game and good defense. And then number 1, I got PR Ballin. He's won the bowl before. He's got Aaron Murray, MVP of the UFL. He's number 1 in points, number 2 in yards, number 3 in passing yards. His defense is elite. It's top 10. It's not the greatest, but it's definitely top 10. And when you got the number 1 passing points scored team in the UFL, you really don't need too much defense. And I weigh him over the Raiders. It was tough between 1 and 2 because I weigh the passing game over the rushing game. You could score quicker. I mean, I know Money Mac could score almost at will on the run game too, but same with Wright. But I weigh the passing game a little bit higher than the rushing game, and both their defenses are good. But like I said, I weigh the passing game higher. And that's my top 5.
Good job, Frank.
Nice job, Frank. INAG, you got your top 5?
All right, INAG, you ready, damn it?
Yeah. I'm finished now. I do have it. My number 5, I'm going to go with my brother Plex, Jaguars number 9. He's 95 right now, but hey. Power rankings, I'm telling you guys, once he gets focused, it's going to be on. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's. I think it's because you put 9 and 5 and Plex together. That makes it a bad ranking,
right?
So. Number 4, I have the Panthers. I really like what they're doing. It's a nice balance. Like I said, Best is doing some good things for them. Number 3, the Jets. Wright's right there. I mean, he's always going to be a number 5 in the top 5 anyway. But he's feeling he's trying to get back to that style of when he's winning more championships. So I feel he's going to make that. Number 2, I have the Bengals. PR Ballin is balling. So I can't put him any lower than that. And at the top, I have the Bears. So I think the Bears. Actually,
I think so too. Me too.
This year.
I don't like the pressure.
You said the Bears are going to win the bowl?
Yep, that's my prediction.
Ooh. Yep, radio.
All right, great stuff, INAG. Great stuff. Guys, my top 5 in
Sway, what you got,
in
man?
particular order. I got the Cowboys.
All right.
Cowboys ranked 5th, 9-4. As I explained earlier, all 4 losses are against quality teams. He's 6th in points. He's got a top 5 offense. First, he's got the top D, second best pass D, and he's 4th in points allowed. So he's got a solid crew there. So I think being in the NFC he gets a little more cushion. I think he can do some damage and at least get back to the conference championship. So number 4, Raiders, currently 11-3. He's got the top overall rushing game at $1.87 a game, which is just ridiculous. He's second in total points. He does have the second worst passing game, which obviously with the top running game, but again, Brandon Whedon as your quarterback. Middle of the range defense, Ray Lewis has done a nice job for them. I gave him a kudos on the blast the other day because I think he's got 5 or 6 interceptions. He had 5 at the time. He could have more now with 3 forced fumbles, but that D, kind of turned over a little bit since Ray Lewis came back. And I think he's got that passion going back on that squad. So they're second in points allowed and third in rushing yards allowed. So, hats off to Money for making them roster moves. He was very active in the offseason last year, and it's obvious that it's paid off now. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Number 3, the Jets at 11-2. Defense. Wright is a defense-minded guy. First in points allowed, third-ranked defense, 5th against the pass and rush. So not many guys in this league are top 5 rush and pass. Even some of the guys that are top 2, 3 are excel at one or the other. Wright's right up there with both of them. So again, he will not beat you with his offense. He will beat you with his defense, and the mistakes that you make, he will make you pay for. So sorry if I got a little hot there. Just bringing up all kinds of bad memories. Okay, so Bengals number 2. Again, PR Ballin is just balling. Aaron Murray's done a fantastic job this year. He's back up there in the passing yards lead, and he should take that with Matt Ryan going out with injury. So he looks like the main candidate. It's going to be a tough race. I know I did put a poll up there between McFadden and Murray. I believe Murray had about 2/3 of the votes on that. So once award time comes, we'll have to see who gets the MVP there. But I think Murray's got the slight advantage. First in points scored with 32.5. Second total offense. Top 10 D and top 10 in points allowed. They got the total package. Again, PR's invested a lot of time and effort into his team, and it obviously shows. You can tell that he's put a lot of again with the practicing and getting his team better, stat wise, so that they can perform better. So, and my top team, I gave it to the Bears. Frank doing a nice job this season, 12-1, and he won the North last season, and at 9-7. So just a testament of what he's done this season at 12-1 or 12-2 now rather. Sorry, third in points scored, 5th in passing. He's had a lot of people say he's had a soft schedule, but I think if you look at who he's played, he's had some good wins in there against like the Cowboys and teams like that. Top 5,
absolutely.
Top 5 in points allowed, fourth pass D and 4th total D. So, a big knock on the Bears before it was his defense. I think Frank, again, he's one of the more active guys in the offseason. I think he's done a lot to get his team to play well on both sides of the ball, and you can see it's paying off in the win column now. He's not, fighting for the playoffs. He's been dominating his opponents this season, and he didn't make the schedule, so whether you want to knock his schedule or not, he's winning the games he should. He had that tough loss to the Raiders there and the Bucks. So again, they got to get some things from those 2 games, and not again. I think they don't want to get down early, as we saw tonight. They get down early and try to throw themselves out of the game, and which they did, and they got to be balanced. So again, good luck to Frank in the playoffs with the Bears. I think they can go far if he if he has that balanced attack and doesn't just commit to the pass. So, guys, that's pretty much all we had on the agenda tonight. I'll just go around real quick if you guys want to make any last comments before we wrap up here. I think we're doing pretty good. We're right on about that hour schedule, so we don't want to talk too long. We want to get you guys this podcast so you guys can listen and comment. Please make sure to thumb. And thanks for everybody for coming on the podcast. INAG, Frank, and Slush, guys, thanks for coming on. And I will just, if there's any last parting words you guys want to say, a shout out, anything. INAG, do you have anything?
My Dolphins suck.
Hey, but
INAG, you're going to turn it around next season. I know you are.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna mortgage the some picks and some players. I'm gonna do some things. We'll see.
INAG, do something, because I want to see you succeed, man.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Hey, I got a few things to say
Jesus.
too here.
Jesus.
I know, Jesus. He's my long-winded last little minute here. Real quick, I just wanted to touch on communication. Please communicate on the forums, whether it's the scheduling thread or text messaging with your opponents, or Sway, myself, or Frank, or any of the vets, so we know what's going on. If we don't know what's going on, that's when we start issuing warnings. We don't want to have to issue warnings. Just let us know what's going on. Like I said. And post content, let us know what's going on with your teams, let us know what's going on, the insides, the outsides, everything. We want to know. We read your content, don't think we don't. This is where we can give you thumbs, we can give you, replies. We're all in this together. Not anybody is isolated from the league. We want everyone to get involved. So please do. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask Sway, myself, Frank, or any vet like INAG, Money Matt, or Wright, or anybody. Just do it for us, man.
Oh, great point, Slush. Again, it is a community league. We do want the league to succeed. We want it to be active. There's already leagues that are closing up, that have closed up, that are calling it quits till PS4. I think we're gaining steam, to be honest with you. I think with all these new owners, we're actually picking up some excitement and doing some stuff, like I said, with the Daddy League, the double XP points, stuff like that, to keep people engaged. And I think to have this much activity at the end of a season just shows how active it's going to be come off season, when it really gets going with the trades and the draft and people shaping up their teams and everything. So I think it's going to be a good season 3 coming up. But great points about the participation, guys. Please, can't stress enough, get on there, comment on something, post something on there in the general discussion, whether it's you need advice or something, just so we know you're alive. We can see when the last time people have been on the forums, and some guys, it's like they haven't even visited the forum in a week, and it's just like, well, why even bother? So, but we're happy to have all the guys we do have.
Right.
Thank you for being here and for making the UFL great. Frank, is there anything you want to add?
So one more thing I want to touch up on the teams making it to the playoffs. I wouldn't sleep on the Buccaneers. The reason we didn't mention them in a lot of our top fives is because it's a new owner. But that team was basically given a playoff opportunity. I think Spider was 9-2 or something when he left. Because we don't know too much about King Brandon, we kind of ignored him out of the power rankings. I think Sway said something, but he's got a very good team. He's got he's going to obviously make the playoffs, and it's someone they might not want to sleep on. And then one other thing is, I'm super excited about the off season, especially with a lot of these new guys. I don't think they realize how fun the UFL is in the off season and butter of the UFL. I'd like to say, the season's great. You get to play your games and everything, but you really see how everyone manages their team in the off season. And with all these new guys, I see a lot of trades going down where people want to make their team. Should be exciting. Should see a lot of news is big trades going on, and I'm excited for the off season along with the postseason.
Absolutely, that's really good, Frank. I also want to say too that with the off season, it's like a pre-Christmas, literally. I mean, it's very exciting, very engaging. This is actually a really great opportunity to get some points too. So, I mean, if there's stuff, turmoil within your team, whether it be like a QB controversy or maybe you're trying to figure out who's your starting running back or whatnot. Hey, post some content. This is how you get some points, and we want to hear about it. So post on.
No, good points. And I think one of the reasons we've been so successful in the off season is because how organized we are. And again, with the administrative team, how organized we are with getting everybody to, post any, if there's information we need, we'll contact you. But again, just engaging everybody and how organized with our itinerary of what's going on in the off season, I think it makes it pretty easy for everybody to understand what's going on and what the expectation is there. So, guys, very, very nice job. Thank you for coming on the show. We're just about there. I'm getting a call from the producer. He's waving at me. If we're right at about our hour limit, they're going to kick us out of here. So, thanks for listening to the show.
This is the Jimmy V,
yes,
damn it.
Please, when you listen to the show, please reply with some comments. We're gonna, once this is all done and posted and everything on the forums, please reply with comments, things you'd like to see on the podcast, your podcasts. We've done plenty of podcasts with different segments and stuff in the past, but if you'd like to see stuff, if you want to be a guest on the podcast, I did throw that out there. If you want to be a guest on the podcast, we can ask you, we could throw some questions at you, put you on the hot seat, whatever it may be. But, come on, have a good time, just talk UFL. And again, long live the UFL, and thanks for being a part of it.